of revelation. Because he realized in the midst of this situation and circumstance that he had the capacity to do what was unbelievable in the eyes of mankind. But Peter, you're gonna have to believe my crossed by the waves, and the wind was contrary or was against it. The disciples had been sent on ahead. They had crossed over. They were crossing over the lake, and in the middle of the lake they encountered a storm. And here's what was learned in this moment is that every storm comes with a promise. Jesus told them to go to the other side, which means that if he gave you instructions and assignment, you don't have to worry about the things you encounter along the way, because you are guaranteed to reach your destination. Take 10 seconds and tell him, thank you, I felt that for you. Go on and bless him in advance that what he promised you he would do, he's going to fulfill it until the day of his return. Storms don't cancel God's word. Give me a second, I gotta shout myself. Lord, I thank you. Storms don't cancel God's word. So I don't care how insurmountable these circumstances we are dealing with today. I don't care how many government shutdowns are threatened, how many layoffs they perpetuate, how many situations we have that hurdles we have to jump over, how many hoops and loops we got to navigate, how many fires we got to put out, how much pain, how much pressure, how much bad news the doctor wants to give. What you say does not trump what God said, because storms don't cancel God's word. That's his name. Jesus is still in control. I'm going to say it till you feel it. Jesus is still in control. Don't care about the White House. Jesus is still in control. I ain't talking about premiers and prime ministers, but I said Jesus is still in control. I know who your employer is and I know who your supervisor is, but Jesus is still in control. See, the problem is you don't believe the promise. If you believe the promise, you wouldn't panic, but you would praise, because Jesus is still in control.
Sell your clothes with no selling fees on Depop. Buy what you love with the extra cash.
Yes, God. See, what happened with Peter, seeing Jesus in the storm changes your faith. Think about it. The storms that you've gone through, and you know that there's no way you could have gotten out of it except that the Lord had brought you through it. You were healed because of it. You lived because of it. You didn't lose your mind because of it. You are still here because of it. You still have joy because of it. You didn't lose everything that you had because of it. Once you see God work in yesterday, it ought to give you encouragement and build your faith for tomorrow. In other words, let me say it like you know it. If he did it before. Yes, God, 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 yes, God. See, understand, when the disciples saw Jesus walking across the water towards the boat, it should have shifted their understanding of what was possible. But what happens is that storms can skew your sight. The disciples didn't recognize the authority of Christ to even be walking on water. And they had been walking with him already. They had seen the miracles that he manifested. They saw what he was capable of. They know what he could do. But yet it wasn't even a thought that Christ is coming to the rescue. They saw a figure and they actually said, it's a ghost. That's the reason when he approached them, he had to say, be not afraid. Fear focuses on the waves.